Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, US Immigration News. We hope you're doing great. Well, in today's video, we will be talking about Trump's bold new immigration reform, a game changer. As Donald Trump prepares to take office again, his recent remarks on immigration reflect both his unwavering commitment to border security and a surprising openness to compromise on the fate of dreamers. While Trump reaffirms plans for mass deportations and strict immigration enforcement, his willingness to work with Democrats signals a potential shift in his approach to one of the most divisive issues in U.S. politics. If you are interested in this, please pay attention and watch the video through to the end to get all the information. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. Trump's openness to immigration reform, a surprising shift? Recently, President-elect Donald Trump opened up in a media interview with MSNBC, a left-wing outlet that has been known to challenge conservative figures. Kristen Welker, who was present for Meet the Press, asked Trump pointed questions about his policies, and the interaction didn't disappoint. While we usually refrain from speaking ill of individuals, it's hard not to notice the tension between Trump and Welker as she repeatedly tried to provoke a reaction. Yet, Trump handled it with grace, sticking firmly to his principles. Trump's recent remarks on immigration reveal a much more nuanced stance than many may expect. The topic that garnered the most attention was his response to the fate of dreamers, young individuals brought into the U.S. illegally as children. Historically, this group has been a source of contention, with many on the right calling for their deportation, while others advocate for legal pathways to citizenship. Trump, however, did not take the hardline stance that some may have expected. Instead, he expressed an openness to finding a solution that works for these individuals who have grown up in the U.S. and are integral members of society. Trump's pragmatic approach to dreamers, a step toward bipartisanship. Trump was asked directly by Welker about his plans for the dreamers, particularly those who were brought to the U.S. as children, many of whom do not even speak the language of their country of origin. Trump's answer was a departure from the extreme rhetoric of his earlier years in office. He made it clear that he would work with Democrats to find a solution for dreamers, acknowledging that many of them are no longer children and have become successful individuals with jobs, small businesses, and even large enterprises. He underscored that deportation was not a practical or just solution for people who have grown up as Americans in every way except for their legal status. Trump's approach to the dreamers is notable because it reflects a willingness to compromise, something not often associated with his political persona. The fact that he is open to working with Democrats on this issue shows a pragmatic side of his leadership that some may find surprising. In a political climate where compromise seems rare, Trump's willingness to engage on this topic could be seen as a positive step toward finding a lasting solution. Biden's missed opportunity. Why didn't he act on immigration reform? Trump also took the opportunity to point out that the dreamer issue should have been addressed during the Biden administration. He emphasized that Democrats had control over Congress at a certain point and could have passed legislation to protect dreamers, yet they failed to act. For Trump, this inaction is emblematic of a larger problem within the Democratic Party, a failure to follow through on promises when the opportunity arose. He noted that while Democrats often talk about reform, when it comes to actually making it happen, they fall short. This video highlights Trump's belief that political leaders need to take action, not just talk about problems. The missed opportunity during the Biden years is significant in Trump's eyes. While he criticized the lack of action on immigration reform, he also positioned himself as someone willing to engage in real negotiations to find a solution. Trump's remarks suggested that if he were in charge, he would take immediate steps to resolve the issue, rather than letting it languish in partisan gridlock. Trump's focus on accountability, political rivals in the Justice Department. But the interview wasn't just about immigration. Welker also asked Trump about his plans to use the Department of Justice, questioning whether he would target political rivals. This question has been a recurring theme for Trump throughout his career, with critics accusing him of using the justice system for personal vendettas. Welker specifically asked about his possible use of the DOJ to go after those who investigated him, such as Special Counsel Jack Smith. Trump responded by clarifying that he would not explicitly direct the DOJ to target his political rivals. However, he did make it clear that he believed some individuals who were involved in investigations against him including figures like former Liz Cheney, should be held accountable for their actions. Trump suggested that these individuals had crossed a line and should face legal consequences for their role in the investigation of the January 6 Capitol attack. His remarks reflected his commitment to holding people accountable for what he sees as politically motivated actions. Trump's vision for the FBI, investigating corruption across the board. The conversation also turned to Trump's potential nominees for key positions, such as his choice for FBI Director Kash Patel. Trump made it clear that if someone in government was found to be dishonest or corrupt, they should be investigated, regardless of their political affiliation. His belief in rooting out corruption is a cornerstone of his rhetoric, and he reiterated that the new FBI director should be focused on investigating corruption wherever it exists. When Welker pressed him about whether he would direct Patel to investigate specific individuals, Trump replied, "No, not at all." He emphasized that while investigations should be based on the law and facts, it was crucial to ensure that the justice system remained impartial and free from political influence. He also mentioned that his nominee for Attorney General Pam Bondi would determine whether figures like Jack Smith should face prosecution, further signaling that he would not directly intervene in legal matters but would ensure that investigations were conducted properly. Trump's leadership, a call for justice and accountability. For those of us who have supported Trump, it's refreshing to hear a leader who stands by his beliefs, no matter how controversial they may be. While many in the media and political circles may continue to criticize him, one thing is clear: Donald Trump is not afraid to speak his mind and make decisions that he believes will benefit the country. Whether or not you agree with him, there's no denying that Trump's approach to immigration reform and his commitment to justice represents a different kind of leadership. His willingness to work with Democrats on Dreamer legislation shows a pragmatic side to his character that many may not expect. In the end, it's about finding solutions, not creating more division. If you're looking for the truth and a break from the political games, then Trump's message is one worth hearing. Trump's recent interview highlights a critical moment in American politics. His willingness to engage in immigration reform, combined with his focus on accountability and justice, sets the stage for what could be a transformative period for the U.S. Moving forward, the question remains: will his administration be able to bridge the deep divisions within the country, or will partisan gridlock continue to impede progress? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure: Donald Trump is not one to back down from a fight. Trump ready to seal border from immigrants on day one. President-elect Trump is signaling he wants to completely reshape the nation's immigration laws starting Jan 20, the day he officially takes office. Immigration has always been Trump's core issue, and he has made clear he plans to follow through on sweeping promises he made on the topic throughout the 2024 campaign. He's announced appointments on immigration that reinforce those intentions, and he signaled in a weekend interview he intends to push for mass deportations and an end to birthright citizenship. While much of what Trump will try to do will be through executive action, allies have also indicated they will push for Republicans in Congress to prioritize border security measures and changes to immigration law as part of a budget reconciliation package in the early weeks of Trump's second term. Donald Trump does not see himself as a third-party candidate. He underscores how Trump enters office with a clearer vision and plan for carrying out policy than his first term, and his allies have argued he also has a clear mandate for taking sweeping action. Might seem to have a plan in place for when they assume office, and there's every expectation they are going to carry it out, said Ira Melman, media director with the Federation for American Immigration Reform, a group that advocates for stricter immigration laws. Might have some experience, they have 4 years under their belt, Melman added. And they've put in place people like Tom Homan who understand the issue and how to deal with it. This term begins with an American public that understands what the consequences of having an open border are. Trump's key appointees on immigration, Stephen Miller as Deputy Chief of Staff and Homan as Border Czar, have maintained a frequent presence on cable television in recent days to outline their vision for how the incoming administration will enact a sweeping crackdown on immigration. In a Sunday interview with Fox News, Miller predicted Republicans in Congress could get a budget reconciliation bill to Trump's desk by the end of January or early February. The reconciliation package, which would not require Democratic support, would include increases in funding for immigration and customs enforcement as it carries out mass deportations, more money for barriers and technology at the border, and an increase in the number of border agents. Additionally, Trump is expected to sign a slew of executive orders on his first day in office. One, Miller said, would effectively seal the border. This is something that Republicans have been talking about for decades, but with Donald Trump, this is something that is going to happen, Miller said, touting it as the most important and significant domestic policy achievement in half a century. Trump allies have in recent days increasingly signaled optimism that Republicans can move quickly on a reconciliation package that focuses on investments in border security, while addressing tax cuts in a second piece of legislation later in the year. Tax cuts Trump signed into law in 2017 are set to expire in the fall of 2025. But advisors to the president-elect argued it would take more time for Republican lawmakers to get on the same page and work out the details of tax legislation. Keep in mind that with the tax cuts, we had a lot of new promises that were made on the campaign trail that we have to incorporate, Jason Miller, a senior advisor to Trump, said in a recent interview. Trump on the campaign trail called for a lower corporate tax rate, as well as the elimination of taxes on overtime, tipped wages, and Social Security benefits. Lindsey Graham, a staunch Trump ally who is slated to lead the Senate Budget Committee beginning in January, said his top priority would be to secure a broken border through the reconciliation process. The bill will be transformational, it will be paid for, and it will go first, Graham posted on the social platform X. Trump made clear during an interview with Meet the Press that his vow to deport millions of individuals in the country illegally and, more broadly, reshape the immigration system was not idle talk on the campaign trail. You have no choice. First of all, they're costing us a fortune. But we're starting with the criminals, and we've got to do it. And then we're starting with others, and we're going to see how it goes, Trump said. The president-elect echoed comments from Holman, saying families with mixed immigration status could be deported together to avoid being separated. Trump said he still intends to end birthright citizenship, something he previously listed as a task for his first day in office, and he is expected to resume construction of a wall along the southern border. Trump did signal an openness to finding a way for dreamers, people who were illegally brought to the U.S. at a young age, to stay in the United States. Holman has since suggested a legislative solution for dreamers would require Democratic concessions on border security measures. Immigration advocacy groups are expected to push back hard against mass deportation efforts, and there will certainly be legal challenges to any attempt by Trump to unilaterally end birthright citizenship. Democratic governors in Illinois, California, and elsewhere have signaled they are prepared to fight Trump's policies in court. Holman, speaking at a GOP event in Chicago on Monday, said the city's mayor should either help federal efforts to deport immigrants in the country illegally who have further criminal records, or get the hell out of the way. As a sign of how the fight over immigration policy may play out in the years to come, the Senate Judiciary Committee held a hearing on Tuesday on the potential consequences of mass deportations. GOP witnesses included Patty Morin, the mother of Rachel Morin, a young woman who was allegedly killed by a man who entered the country illegally. Democratic witnesses cited concerns about the separation of families and ramifications for the economy, as millions of workers in the agricultural industry and other areas could be targeted for deportation. It would cost hundreds of billions of dollars to deport every undocumented immigrant in our country, Sen. Dick Durbin, the chair of the committee, said at the hearing. It would damage our economy and separate American families. Instead, we should focus on deporting those who are truly a danger to America, and we should give the rest a chance to earn legal status. Donald Trump's evolving stance on immigration blends firm enforcement with a newfound openness to compromise on dreamers. As his second term approaches, the nation waits to see if Trump's mix of pragmatism and hardline policies will foster cooperation or deepen divisions on immigration reform. That is all for today. In this video, what are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take doc.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel US Immigration News. We hope you are doing great. Well, in today's video, we will be talking about Trump's bold new immigration reform, a game changer. Is Trump ready to seal a border from immigrants on day one? President-elect Donald Trump's recent statements reveal a surprising shift in his stance on immigration reform. During an interview with the MSNBC Christian World Cup, Trump expressed openness to working with Democrats on finding a solution for dreamers, young immigrants brought to the U.S. illegally as children. Traditionally, Trump has been known for his hardline stance on immigration, but his recent remarks reflect a more pragmatic approach. He acknowledged the contribution of dreamers to society and suggested depression in neither practical nor just for individuals who have grown up in the US. The shift in Trump's rhetoric is a significant indicating a willingness to compromises on an issue that has a long divided the political spectrum. Trump's opponents to bipartisan cooperation on immigration reform silence a departure from his past extreme view and suggest a possible path towards resolving the status of dreamers. At the same time, he criticized the Biden administration for not taking action on immigration reform when Democrats had the control of Congress. In contrast, Trump continues to emphasize a strong approach to border security and immigration enforcement. He plans to take immediate action on immigration reforms when he assumes office in January. Trump has announced key appointments such as Stephen Miller as a deputy chief of staff and Tom Homan as a border Caesar to lead efforts in a reshaping US immigration policy. His administration is preparing executive actions to seal the US border and birthright citizenship. Trump has also worked to prioritize mass deportations, particularly targeting individuals with criminal records, and resume construction of a border wall. Trump's firm stance on border security reflects his desire to fulfill campaign promises, and his allies have expressed confidence that Republicans in the Congress will support his efforts. However, Trump's approach is expected to face significant legal challenges from immigration advocacy groups and Democratic leaders. Democratic governors in a state like California and Illinois have already indicated their readiness to oppose Trump's immigration policies in court. While Trump has shown a pragmatic side by expressing openness to negotiate on the issue of dreamers, his broader immigration agenda remains focused on a strict enforcement. These are the potential consequences of his proposed mass deportation, and immigration reform will be a critical issue in the early days of his second term, with significant economic and legal ramifications. As Trump prepares to take office, the question remains whether his administration will be able to navigate the deep dimension on immigration and reach lasting reform.